called My Chicano Brother Behind Bars. I know they set fire to you, so rise from the ashes. Birth your phoenix as most of your sisters have learned to do. See how the world turns and turn with it. Let the moon be your guide and let the tides influence you. Let it teach you, my brother, about how to wax and wane, how to harness the power the universe has given you. Learn the lessons of karma about what goes around comes around, and my young hermano, you are not exempt. Learn about the abuse of power. Know that men will take from you as much as you will take from other men, women, and children. Learn to unlearn that power. Learn to embrace vulnerability. Learn that there lies strength in personal growth, and growing pains are just the beautiful ways in which your old skin is shedding. My Chicano brother, life is but a series of tests. Most of us fail them at first, but the lesson comes back around until you decipher the message or learn the lesson. See, life will do that to us. Life will come back around full circle, and shit will hit the fan on some full moons. So listen to your Chicana sisters when they say to you that all that glitters is not gold. See, you've been sold a dream which was never yours in the first place. You come from Mayan and Aztec blood. That should be enough to tell you were destined for greatness. So to my brother behind bars, do not give up hope. It's what they want you to do. Do not turn against yourself. It's what they expect from you. Do not give in to the abuse of power. That's what landed you there in the first place. My brother, you know life in ways I do not know. You know of what it means to be locked up and caged in more ways than I ever will. You know of death and depression. You know of resistance and oppression. You were made in the streets as a warrior, but the streets were never your battle. That was only training camp. Contrary to popular belief, you were never born free. You have always lived in poverty, a modern-day captivity. All this time you were fighting in the streets, retaliating against the wrong enemies, so wrapped up in the hood game you forgot who invented it in the first place. So to my Chicano brother behind bars, resist. Resist by learning to love yourself, as your Chicana sisters have. Blossom in the face of every motherfucker who told you were a piece of shit. Blossom.
Segment with
Josie,
and Angel and
Jesua, and Semo. Thank you for being here with us again. Whoever's tuning in on our second half of the Eskwilax Hour. We have a special guest, Jesua Bones. How did you come up with your name, Jesua?
The name?
It's a really pretty name. I think we talked about it again, but I think a lot of people are asking out there.
I got the name when I was like...
It's your artist name, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
My real name's Jesus, so I didn't want to stay too far from like my real name.
Nice, I like
but
that.
I wanted to like feminize it in some way. And so that, and then Bones, because like I have this like appreciation for like death or like the dark side kind of stuff.
Nice.
And so
I like it.
thank you.
Cool.
So it's kind of funny. They kind of like it's kind of ironic because it's like Jesus is life and then like Bones is death. Yeah.
You're right.
And I love the idea of life and death. Like I think it's
so it's like a play on them both.
Yeah, it's really
that's good.
In a very creative, artistic way.
yeah, thank you.
I like it, I really do. But as you were talking about Jesua, you started off with drawing, and you have some of your work. You did pencils. I see pen actually. Do you like pen more?
I love pen. Yeah, I'd say I like pen
fluidity,
more.
right? Pen.
Yeah, I love that.
I do like it.
Thank you.
Your sketches. So you started off drawing. You've been doing it since you've been 14, you said?
Makeup since I was 14.
Makeup since you were
Drawing
14.
since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid.
Yeah.
And then you've also done paintings.
Yeah.
And mostly do you do oil or watercolor?
With paints.
Acrylic, you said.
With paints it's gonna be acrylic.
Oh, okay.
And then
cool.
I tried oil before, but that's really difficult. Like it's really special. So there's a lot of like there's a little bit of stuff that's different from it. But
Right.
it works.
Everybody chooses their favorite medium.
Yeah.
I'm glad you found yours, which is in different areas too. So as you finished drawing, you also did makeup. You've been into being a drag queen. Oh, you are a drag queen. So, and also you do music. What kind of music do you do?
I appreciate like all types of music. I really love all types of styles.
Nice.
But I feel like right now the mixtape that I'm working on is very, all of it is all acoustic.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm going through this acoustic phase right now.
Nice.
It's called, I haven't released it yet, but it's called Traumathon.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like all acoustic for now.
Nice.
I would love to work with like electronic and other stuff.
Cool.
Definitely.
That's what's up. You write your music. Have you been doing writing for a while too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Been writing since, yeah, I mean, I love writing. I
Mm-hmm.
love freestyling writing or just like journalism. Just
Poetry,
like,
too?
yeah.
okay.
I feel like they're all kind of the
They're all
same
kinda
thing.
the same, right?
Because it's what is it, written, poetry kind of wise, right?
Because you could like eventually get inspired by it and make something out of it or something. So.
Right.
How cool, your makeup looks like wings.
Thank you.
Like on the side. It's really beautiful work.
You gotta show it off because,
Make-
like you said, you do
you.
makeup. You're an artist and you're a musician, so it's like all of it, plays off. Like you could design your own flyer. You could do your own makeup for when you go on stage. Yeah, I mean, so it's like you're like similar to the artist that's doing the artwork right now. You guys are well-rounded in in the sense that you're not just secluded onto one medium, but
Right.
you're open to try different mediums.
Just like
you,
Hogan too, right? He's does camera work and he's been doing some beats recently. Or I think he's
pretty
done it for a
sick.
while too, right?
Yeah.
Efran too, he's a chef
also,
at
where's
the
that?
Zapote Cafe.
It's
and
good.
He's a wonderful producer of the Eskwilax Hour. Like, I like it, I really like that everybody is not afraid to go
do
out
some-
there and try stuff and share it too. I mean, recently we hanged out because we did the Frida Kahlo runway, and it was so cool that we ran into each other, that we were able to be models.
Even though you guys had met beforehand, right?
Yeah, we had met at an art show actually, where you performed for your first time.
At Cielito Cafe.
Cielito Cafe.
We were, I think you were vending, right? And then I was sharing artwork and performing.
Yeah, you did both.
Yeah.
That's really good. Double hustle.
And then when she came home, she was like, "I met this great folk punk artist. She's so dope.
She
She
did the splits. She was singing. It was like raw. It was
Wilding out.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it was really cool. And you said you were afraid to because it wasn't like your normal scenery. It was smaller, it was intimate, it was a cafe.
Yeah, I was definitely like, it's different.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It worked out.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was
The
like a
crowd
punk-
feedback was
like a punk
definitely
show,
like,
right?
yeah.
It was tight, but you were still not afraid to be like use your space. That was cool.
or how I put it, just show that you could use your space.
Yeah.
Because I bet everybody was just like just overwhelmed at the end. Like, what just
Yeah.
happened? Like, who just performed? Like, what did I just saw?
Otra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
When
you
you
know.
perform, you do like freehand sometimes, or you always write your music, or
Yeah, I sometimes I'll like my friends will like throw in a beat and I'll put it on, but people won't know. It's like I'm just gonna freestyle over it.
okay.
And then other times it's like where I've written it and then obviously like rehearse to remember and like it'll play out.
I like it. It's a lot of commitment to everything and to the art world. So definitely thank you for sharing your art, like we were
Thank
talking
you.
about with our last artist. Sometimes art keeps you to yourself, or you become isolated, or maybe you just stay within a specific scene
Circle.
or circle. But definitely you guys come out here, and you present yourselves, and you're open and you share what you got, which is really good, and you inspire other people to do what they like to do.
Right.
I'd say. You know?
So,
Thank
so you would say, for the most part, everything that you learn is DIY, or you
You
would say
went to school and stuff for like
For certain
drawing
I would say
or for
mostly,
music?
yeah. I would say mostly, yeah. And then like a few mentors, like
Cool.
they're like my art teachers. I only had like two, but they were very like free spirited people, and like I naturally like get along with people like that. So
Isn't that the cool thing where DIY was where like you were either, you know, motivated by your circumstances in life, where you're like, I'm not gonna just be sad about it. I'm gonna put it in something, whether it be drawing or doing music or.
I feel like
doing
that's something
poetry.
I struggled with at
Oh,
first,
okay.
definitely. Like, was like I didn't know how to deal with like
Channel it.
emotions or channel the emotions. There were times where I was working with an art gallery called Heart of Art Gallery.
Oh, okay.
I was working with them, but sometimes I couldn't host a show because I didn't know how to like deal with like the like anxiety and depression that I would allow to overcome at some point. And I think like practicing taught me a lot to like just channel it to something that's more productive. It takes practice, really. I think it just takes practice. It's
It does.
not something easy, but
And
it can
something that
happen.
has to come from yourself too, right?
Right.
Because our friends and our family can tell us one thing, right? But it's really us. and
Exactly.
ourselves, right?
and then
Exactly.
the same way as everybody states, you know, just getting critiqued from somebody else. Yeah, I mean, just getting is more of, are we getting the right advice, you know, or the right, you know, feedback from one another?
Yeah.
For the
How
most
do you
part,
deal with that?
yeah. How do you deal with the
Feedback.
feedback?
Just like,
I think, well, the good thing is I did music just for myself. I like, it doesn't matter like for me if I'm gonna make money off of it or something. Like I have a job like already, so I don't really like to depend on my art as like, it's something I do for fun, and it's something that I think is really self-healing. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I started music, is because I needed to heal myself in some way. Because like drawing or painting wasn't enough, or talking to people wasn't enough, or like I just don't like talking to people sometimes, you know? So I feel like music was like so perfect to just like say it out, because it's unapologetic. That's the beauty in music, is you can scream and yell how you're feeling, and you don't have to apologize for it.
Right.
It's how you feel, you know?
Right.
And I think that's something that I've always loved in music, is that, yeah.
that it's there, it's been said. I mean, and whoever wants to identify with it can or cannot, right?
Right. I mean, the reality is like some people are gonna like it, some people are not.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of anything.
But it hasn't stopped you from doing what you like. And
I'm actually really surprised at the amount like I've been booked in summer. I'm really surprised, yeah, within just music, because I think I used to book shows for almost 3 years, and being on the other side of like directing and helping shows get together, like it's a lot of responsibility. And I
Right, just
feel like
finding the location, finding the bands that are gonna play, making sure nobody builds
instruments,
out.
everybody's cool, what
PA
times at
system.
times. So like all that was like, it was fun, and I loved it. Like I love being behind the scenes. And then I got kind of like, I think all that kind of influenced me too. It was like pushing me towards the direction of music, because some of these people were my friends too, so they were like very encouraging. And I think like that's where the part of the encouragement came from, to like just do it, because there's nothing else that's as liberating as like
expressing
yelling
yourself.
or something. Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I feel like the most rawest work comes from people who have done it DIY, you know, just done it themselves and not let, I mean, emotions influence artists, of course, right?
Yeah.
But
For the most part, DIY, I would say it just pushed everybody into just getting outside their shell, because they wanted to know what everybody else was gonna be thinking about the.
And I think community makes it easier, especially when you have a positive like encouragement. Like you don't even have to like it, just encourage them to share what they're feeling.
That's it.
Like it's better than them having to keep it inside themselves for so long until like it erupts or something. You know. So I think like being around the punk metal scene, like I've always been attracted to like loud, aggressive music. So it's like there's always a niche for everything, you know. If you like soft music, like you can go express that, or if you like, you know, Yeah.
And for I would say for a scene that already goes above and beyond on the whole line of what's what's normal, what's routine, or what's just what's just planned. For instance, like you said, the punk scene, the hardcore scene, the the that in general that there's no structure to it. It's just everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you have bands from the Crass, you have bands like the Sex Pistols to the Clash to Bad Brains. Yeah, I mean, it's like a whole transition of what actually is punk and what's not punk. Yeah, I mean, but for the most part, punk in general is just you just fully expressing something, and
I think that's the biggest scene in LA that's underground, that's been, I mean, you could say, I don't know, the most welcoming to a very isolated community of people, you know, or not, or I don't know. I felt like punk was in a way, or the metal scene, or just, I don't know, it was the most comfortable scene that I experienced, definitely, and I don't know why that was. I don't know if it's been the most welcoming scene to artists. Do you feel like it was like that? I mean,
I think it's where I felt most comfortable. Like I didn't care if like people. I mean, there were times when I was like young and like going to metal shows, I would be looked at sideways, but I didn't care. Like I was there for the music, not for people, you know.
Right.
And I think like that itself, like it kind of speaks a lot. Like, what are you living for? Like something like it's good to live for yourself. It's good to like. I don't know how to explain it.
No, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like it's just like music I think is like so powerful in that way that it has that beautiful motivation like to drive you, and I think like music has always been there for or can be there for anybody, and I think like it's really badass.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Whenever you want.
You know, the fact that finding certain environments like for instance, just finding a place where you could, meet up other artists, to a place where you can meet other people that are, like Josie stated, excluded. You know what I mean, from within a group of of normal day people. You know what I mean, where you could talk about political points of views, where you could talk about just the range where just what it means to ride by the bus, or just what it means to just be an outcast, just in general within a bigger group.
But drawing, huh? I like your work. Do you usually work at night or in the day? I know Angel likes to draw late night.
Yeah, I'm definitely a night owl. I love
night
like
owls.
more energy, like more creative energy at night.
What about you, Samos? I don't think you can hear me, huh?
No.
But what was I gonna ask you? Because
he's in there.
He's in the zone.
Oh yes, this a film you did, right?
Oh, this was a short erotica directed by Jackie Ray. Yeah. She does a lot of photography on like erotica art, and like I really love her work. I think
for those that don't know what erotica is, just I guess like a non-explicit, because most people think explicit when they think erotica. Yeah.
Well, she is explicit. She is like she's like, she's very comfortable with her like sharing. I mean, you see a lot of nudity, but there's like it's like the art of sex. That's what she celebrates in her work of art. And it's like the art of sex and different types of people, like not just like hetero norm. It's like also queer love and like, so it's like she definitely like, likes to push the boundaries on what people think. It's just like.
Was that your first acting role?
To play in a big screen, that was kind of crazy. Yeah,
really cool.
It was at the Outfest. She got to play at the Outfest. She asked me like 2 months before filming. She was like, "Hey, I'm working with the Outfest right now, and they want me to submit a short film. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Let's do it."
Yes.
So for 2 months, we were looking for the other model to like,
to be
the other partner.
Oh yeah, and then of course this is from the Frida Kahlo runway show, right?
Yeah, this is from the show that we were at, the
How
runway
did you
show.
get involved with this one?
The designer Quetzal, he and
Quetzal,
I.
shout out Quetzal
Yeah,
Boutique.
shout out to Quetzal.
Oh, and then, by the way,
Boutique.
you also
I
came
have
out
this
and
one,
you.
so
And then, by the way, you also came out on this show, right? Which was last week
His
or so.
show.
Yeah.
He does a show, Quetzal Boutique, at a studio called
Late
Late Nights in East Los.
Oh,
Shout out
Shout out to them
every
too, right?
Tuesdays
Really,
at
really
8
nice
p.m.,
show.
right?
Right. So they could also see another little, bits
every
and
Tuesday
pieces.
nights.
Another segment of you. I see you were playing live music, right?
Mhm.
You performed. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't perform for us, at least you guys can see his performance.
I'm down.
No, I'm just saying, because we're over here, just keep adding on the questions. Like,
Oh,
he started
Because
drawing.
there's so much and I love it. I just
The-
want to get everything
thank
in.
you.
But thank you for definitely being patient with all of their questions.
No, hell
I know
yeah. I
everybody
think
has-
it's important. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of watching interviews of my favorite artists, and I feel like it's kind of cool to be on the other side, because it's like people get to like see like what I feel like most people are like, I need to see it to believe it, or type of people, and like I believe that because I'm kind of the same way too. Like
Yeah.
I won't believe that I
'Cause
can
we
do
all
that,
work
and
so
it's
hard.
right, and it's like
Definitely.
it's good to like show people you can do it too. Like,
Yeah. And that you're being out here and you're showing your raw work and the way that you like to vibe with people, and you're very open and calm and nice, even though the way that you express yourself it
It's
seems
loud.
dark, it's loud, but it's, I don't know if the contradiction is the
yeah,
is it so attractive about the way that it comes about, the way that you are yourself, and that's beautiful.
Blinding.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So definitely keep at it.
Thank you.
Keep bringing us your work. I know that one of your paintings was bought at the art walk. What are you planning on doing with your art? I know you say you don't use it for money, you do it because you like it. And I feel like that's created a lot of really cool artists,
Right.
Not doing it because out of stress and because you need to make money out of it, but because you really like it,
Yeah. What was the question?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's try it back.
Yeah.
But it was about doing some art. Doing some art. Where do you want to take it?
Oh, where do I want to take
beyond-
art? I would love to take it into animation sometime
Nice.
soon. I think like I've always loved cartoons and stuff, so I think it'd be cool to kind of like express like the different personalities that are like, yeah, I think it'd be fun.
And it's cool that you've done both. I know Angel's also done both. You've held bands, organized events. You've also done that. You've performed in bands. You do art. What side do you like more, or do you feel like there's just stages in life? Not always are we gonna show our face. Not always are we gonna like be there, but like, what do you want people to remember about you, or like what is like your message like with your art? Is it yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think being yourself is very important, and I guess that it's okay to be yourself. Like, you can't really care about. I think it's still weird that people still care about what people think or something. I don't know. Maybe because like it does take a transformation to like help like you, but I feel like it's just important to be yourself more than ever right now, because people are like filled with fear, I feel, and fear doesn't do anything that's really good. Fear is like what people want you to feel, or most people, or, but it's like you can't give in to that. And I think by just simply being yourself, you do really open doors for other people or inspiring other artists. Like, for sure, like my friends have helped me, like by them expressing themselves. It pushed me wanting to make more music, and like knowing that I can trust these people, and like it made it really helpful. I'm like that. Like I need to like be in a comfortable like zone, environment that like is super chill, like knows like what we want to do, and it's clear with our intention, and simply like putting into action makes it like it's so good to like complement each other and like help each other.
So I would say you don't set boundaries for anything that you do or anybody that comes in and meets you. Like for instance, what is it certain things that you come across that off the back everybody just goes over and over just repeating it on, where you just, you know what, you just blur it out, you just block it off, and you just go about it. You don't answer those questions. Like has it changed you? Like, do you still pause and say, you know, okay, do you want me to answer? Like for instance, when we asked you about how to introduce yourself, you know, you said just my Instagram name is fine, and we went about it. We're like, you know, that's how most people want to be known, you know, but either their Instagram name, their artist name, nobody other states otherwise, you know what I mean? And as a group of artists, we don't push it to what, you know, what is it that made you choose this, or how so, you know what I mean, or why originate to this, you know, state.
Choosing art, or
just choosing to be freely open, you know what I mean, like as you were saying, just
I feel like this is the only way I can truly express myself, like completely, without having to like really talk. I feel like I feel like I have a problem talking about my emotions with people. I feel like the most comfortable way I can do that is like through drawing or making a song out of it, or you know, just any medium possible, because I mean, I was very like, I'm a natural introvert. I'm very like keep to myself naturally. I don't like being around a lot of crowds, but I mean, at the same time, like this outlet really helps, like get rid of those emotions.
Like you do a lot, you know. It's really cool.
Thank you.
You know, you would think, oh, it's you know, when you're sad or when things happen, like it puts you back in life, and you're not ever going to be able to do that thing again because it makes you sad all the time. No, you know, that doesn't. You show the opposite. You know, a lot of artists do the opposite, where they're like, no, I'm actually going to express this. Even if I don't have a word to put to how I feel, I can show it through art or through, you know, playing music or something.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to which is really fun. But besides like art, do you always I know of course you have your family and stuff, but are you just an artist also in your leisure time?
Yeah, I think I'm a full-time
Just
artist.
full-time
Yeah.
artist. Like whether it be, you know, you're drawing or you're performing at home on your leisure time,
I love creating.
You
Like I think
creating
like
and
just
stuff.
creating, like, you know, and you're also transforming with your art and stuff. Like it's kind of crazy to look at old art and look at the art now. It's like always changing, and like as a person too.
Right. I mean, and change is important too, right?
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
able to develop in our society. Sometimes we're afraid to change, you know, but
You have to change. You have to.
flaunt the change.
Yeah, hell yeah. I
I
mean,
really like it, which is really cool. I really like it, and yet again, thank you for blessing us with your art and
thank you for having me.
Right. And do you think we still have some time
yeah, of
for
course.
for
Today
performance?
you said you're gonna perform a song for us.
Yeah.
today, right?
Don't worry, face.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to set a tune, music, a cappella?
you
No, I'm
already
just kidding.
have
Do you want me to do it right now?
I don't know. Or do you want? Or should we hit commercials and then come back?
This is fine, honestly. Yeah.
All right. Let's just set it up then, so you could give
I
her.
was gonna maybe ask him about his work a little bit. In the meantime, while he sets up,
Alright.
ask him, is that his doll?
Or we could we'll just go to commercial and then get that segment rolling, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is your world, your creation.
The Instagram is _Jesua _interior love. There it is, it's on the board. So Jesua _interior love. Definitely follow the page and we'll update you with new photography on new pieces that we'll be working on for the end of the month. I've definitely been starting to create some more, but hey everyone, welcome back to the Eskwilax Hour. Here we are with a beautiful mural. Thank you. It's wonderful to know. Yeah, is this a specific character? Or someone you know?
Well, I was trying to get your highlights in her hair. Yeah, not necessarily in particular, but I know you said that like I know you said that you like the lady that did on Black People Boulevard, so I was kind of thinking of that.
I like that she does it very good. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
And so, yet again, thank you for being here with us. Do you have any shout outs or last words for people watching you?
Shout out, my crews, RTN, CST, What Crew, homies, people's family, friends, all that stuff. Thank you guys for having me. I totally appreciate being here. At Royal Heights, LA, West Side.
Being here, that brings a lot of artists into the community. From John Box to, I know the microphone's over here.
Alright, we're sharing mics.
But
Sorry guys.
Sorry, we're sharing mics today, but yet again, like I said, thank you. I love your work. Definitely today we have. Do do you specifically have any other, I don't know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I really like your work. It's really, really beautiful. And thank you again for having a piece here. We're going to have the Eskwilax hour, which is really beautiful.
So he was saying that the art piece, it should be it's you.
Well, it's a piece, you know, that I like.
Semi-inspired. Oh, okay, okay, that's nice,
that cool?
right? And that way,
We got a lot of art in the house today. It's overwhelming for me
I know
sometimes.
it is. It looks nice too.
I know we have
It really
Jesua
does
too,
look
who's gonna
nice.
do art.
Let me get a
She's
closer
gonna
look at
perform
it.
a song for her. I like the hair.
I like
It's
the whole
definitely
shine on the
LA
bling.
girl, you know, it's a tribute to our LA girls. Is this your signature?
My signature.
I really like it.
CSTRT and book through. Yeah, you know, I definitely, you say, I enjoy drawing people of color. You know, so I mean that's kind of the impetus behind my, you know, why I do characters and stuff. You know.
A lot.
Nice.
I love it.
You know, and then the little shout out to us, you know, on the top with the right hand, you know.
And definitely, if you know any other artists who, yeah, if you ever want to shoot them through, if, you
Every
know,
Friday we're here, you know, just let us know, you know, when they're ready, and then we'll have them on live on our segment. You know, they could do live art as our viewers saw. They could either do live art, or they're gonna come in and stay tuned, you know, time soon to a live tune from our special guest.
from Jesua. But yeah, thank you yet again. I guess we'll enjoy some music for now.
And then
I don't know. We're lucky we're gonna have it here, so anybody's welcome to come view a
View it,
live
right?
piece. And of course, you're always welcome to the studio. I know you invited us also to your studio in K-Town, which is really cool.
Right?
I'm sure you have
Chinatown,
you
okay.
said.
Okay.
Chinatown,
All
okay,
right.
cool. I got it confused. I said K-Town last time.
No, and then so just let's see, just let's since our technical difficulties still in hand, if you want to hold the mic a little bit closer and give, you know, a shout out to the whole crew, to everybody in there. Did you get it all? Because it was kind of, you know, here and there. All right. So now let's introduce Jesua and her
Thank you yet again.
live music.
Right.
So this one's called
This song is called Give Up. Give Up, yeah.
Give Up. Cool. Here we go.
So easy to give up, so easy to give up, so easy to give up, so easy to give up. The feeling of knowing all will end. Not what I wanted, not what I wanted, not what I wanted, not what I wanted, not at all, not at all. want bad things to come. So this is the end. This is the end. This is the end. This is the end. Thank you.
That was Jesua, but her live performance. Song title?
That was Give Up.
Give Up?
Give Up off Traumathon. Give Up is already on my SoundCloud,
Okay.
but Traumathon has not been released yet.
All right. So it's, stay tuned, right? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So if you follow Jesua on Instagram, on Facebook or so, stay tuned for that exclusive. That's good.
Right? If you want that fire,
Drop that,
Yeah.
that album cover,
That was really cool.
thank you.
I love that.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
No, you're welcome. And same with the artist. I forget how to pronounce it. Help me out. Sanoism. There you go. Sanoism. Come on. Just say goodbye to everybody here. I don't know if it's time coming up, how we're doing on time, but right. Have everybody on stage, just so you can say a little, few words on behalf of our sponsors, and that way, the Zapote Cafe that promotes us, and any other, little things, messages you guys want to share to the audience.
Any kind of cool art places where you guys
Are gonna set up, and that way, everybody knows.
or where other artists should go to promote their work, or
I mean, I believe there's opportunity everywhere, and as long as I don't know, I think, I forgot where I was going with this. Like networking.
yeah, exactly. Where were the first couple places where you were able to put yourself out there? I know a lot of artists use cafes and stuff,
Yeah, my first art walk was in downtown LA, and it was maybe 4 years ago. It was really a fun experience, and I think
that's really cool, right? The downtown art walk where
Where everybody. Oh, thank you. That's fine. I know.
it's free too, which is really cool, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of the art walks they charge. Have you been? Of course. Have you been to the art walk, the downtown?
Yeah.
You posted in the art walk.
Well, I used to go to them. They just got a little. They were really crowded. And I remember I couldn't. I used to think it would be cool if they had a gallery. I mean, a map of the galleries.
Oh, you're right.
And it would be a lot easier to find and everything.
I didn't even know that you could go to galleries.
Well, yeah, right. It's kind of like food truck walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna say, because you mentioned other opportunities or other things that I might be working on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to mention this earlier. Next year, I'm going to Vietnam to do a 20-day graffiti art residency workshop in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. This is part of it's a thing called Next Level, and it's like a hip hop organization.
Cool.
But it's under the U.S. State Department Bureau of Culture and Education.
What does that mean?
Well, it's the U.S. State Department.
Oh, okay.
So it's government funded. It's facilitated by a group called Meridian International, or they're the administrative group, and then the organization is Next Level. What Next Level does is they select 25 artists every year, and this is the fourth year, Next Level 4.0. So I'm one of 25 people going, but I'm one of 3 graffiti writers that's on board for this for the first time. So it's
Congratulations.
thank you.
It's a major step, just for artists in general, or
Graffiti artists.
Totally,
or people that are
Mid-city.
excluded from certain things
Right,
because
kinda
they're hidden
marginalized.
behind,
Totally. But, like I said, they've been doing this for 4 years. The director is Mark Katz from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He put it together, and he's a music professor at the university over there. So he helped, put this together. Started with the DJs and stuff, hip hop, sending hip hop DJs all over the world, and then they integrated the b-boys and the MCs, and like I said, now the graffiti writers. So I would encourage people out there that's in the hip hop at least. If you're interested in, teaching, worldwide or whatnot, like to look up Next Level program and get on it,
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely, for our audience that is, out there that's listening to, how artists and how to push, themselves as artists, more out there in the world. Then these are certain, outlets that help out, the creative side of everybody, right? If it's music, if it's graffiti, if it's art,
Drawing,
or
dancing.
dancing, or even us hosting,
Making plants, filming, photography.
right? And then Fifi, who's our
Just being cute.
special guest too.
She knows.
She knows.
Oh,
We're talking
wait.
about her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
But for the most part, everybody here, it's a contributing member to to a growing nature of people just trying to just express themselves, and at the same time just help everybody else around them express themselves, and for that I commend you guys all for pushing those boundaries. And
Yeah, for sharing with us art that other people can also do, if they just believe in themselves and in a community, whichever that be, accepted us or did it. We definitely pushed our boundaries and kind of, I don't know how would you guys say it, just different.
Well, this is a community show, right?
Right.
Like I think this is like a very powerful platform in that way already, because I mean, literally this was just like over the talk, it was nothing too complex when I had met you guys, so it was very I think it was very organic, and I think that just goes a long way. Naturally, it'll take time, but time will show the entire beautiful community coming together and sharing together with it.
I don't know if that's what art is. What do you think? Do you think that you had a plan of how your art developed? Did you start off, first I'm gonna sketch and then I'm gonna draw on walls, or it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I know that parents are not very, not just parents, but even in communities, people are not very patient with artists,
Okay, so not to go into super detail, but I grew up in a domestically violent household. Right? My parents passed away in '87 because of this domestic violence, murder, suicide. So it was the graffiti that helped me survive. I just latched into it, and I was just full throttle. Okay.
Nice.
In '83, it was going out to Japan and seeing it was already worldwide. Going back to Cleveland and saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this. I wasn't the first. I'm not the last. I'm not the best. I'm not the worst. But I'm pretty decent.
Yeah.
And with that, I know I've influenced a lot of people in Cleveland and out here, well, just all over,
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me, is helping others. That's the community, helping others to help others in their community.
Yeah.
Even, so it overlaps and stuff. When I used to do graph in Cleveland, I used to call it neighborhood beautification projects and stuff.
Right.
Because I was like, we're in the hood, and whatever hood it is, it's like, here we are, graph writers, we get marginalized from the art scene and stuff. As people in so many ways and stuff, right? So
exactly.
It's like,
for instance, not just graffiti in general, but just separating graffiti from vandalism, or from vandalism to gangs, and from gangs to to actually saying these are actually people beautiful, making something more livable,
right? And even the side note to that, because even when I was at Juice, I had an issue with one of the kids stealing paint, and I set him up and I caught him, because I know how to do that kind of thing. And I was just like, hey man, you're stealing from the community, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what makes it not cool, like, the paint is provided for you to paint and build your skills and everything. And I mean, it wasn't trying to be too hard on them. Maybe I was, but it wasn't like I was just like, hey man, it's the community that you're taking from. You're taking from everybody else that want to just come and paint and get over whatever issues and stress and trauma or whatever that they're dealing with. But from that incident, I started to look up the word vandalism, where it came from, and also the word graffiti and stuff. So these terms that we even use, they have their root in other things that may or may not be related to what we're doing, right? I mean, the Vandals and stuff, Vandals, Goths, and Visigoths were the folks that sacked Rome and would later on take over the Vatican and stuff like that. So this word has its root in that, and I'm like, I'm not trying to push over statues. I know that's the big thing today, though.
It's trending.
Right, it's trending hard. But again, I guess for me, it's graffiti, or to be a writer in this particular art form is to go over boundaries, whether that's trespassing or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying I should say permission and non-permission work maybe, but I'm saying, like, I don't think so much about the labels, because the labels are what's giving us the problem. And we can remove the labels and just interface and say, hey, this is cool or not, and just deal with that perspective. I think,
and that's exactly what brought us to make the show. Just removing those boundaries, just removing what states it was from trespassing to what states to labeling it either as art or just someone's self-expression.
Or embracing labels, right?
Yeah.
For instance, like you said, graffiti. Some people do really good penmanship. It's called calligraphy. It's called typography. It's called script. And now, if you see it on the wall, it's graffiti. But either or, it was still a process of something. The way it originated. And that's a key. That's a key term where you have to find and eliminate where it originated, and then just reinvent it. Just give it a whole new name to it. It's no longer just graffiti itself, but it's something that's gratified. Gratified as into you're giving a tribute to something that's that's done. Like they're looking at their media as not just on paper, but everywhere where they could put paint up.
Right. I think it's going past the labels though. It's going past the defines. I mean, especially with technology and everything, everything is moving at such an incredible pace. It's like, how do you keep defining at every step, Say, this is no, this is what it is, And it's like, well, again, to say even I've been doing graffiti where I do aerosol art or I do art, like, what's the broader label, what's the bigger context, and, and then, what's the drive to that, all of that.
What do you think, Jesua? You liked it today?
Yeah, it was a really great, fun experience.
Yeah.
I'm
really excited that both y'all were able to come together. It's different art, but it complemented itself perfectly because it's all art, and it's two people, different generations, still expressing the same definition to art, being yourself and embracing.
And eliminating boundaries, from different ages.
We're embracing boundaries, and in whatever you
Overcoming obstacles.
I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with today.
No, yeah, it's well said.
I don't know, you're gonna do a show also in Oakland, or that's the one that already happened, right?
No, it happened September 1st.
September 1st, so definitely stay tuned. You'll send us the flyer so we can give a shout out. And then also to your single that's going to come out too. What's it called again?
The latest single that came out called Leave Me Alone.
Leave Me Alone, definitely.
I'll be performing it for the first time at Queer Space.
Queer Space.
On the 5th of September at the Lash.
Cool.
It's like a club in downtown LA.
There you go, you guys in downtown on the 5th at the Queer Space.
At the Lash.
At the Lash. That should be a lot of fun.
Winston Spring, I think.
Portland Spring, right?
Winston, yeah.
Winston Spring.
Oh, Winston.
Close
And
to
if
the
anybody's in
Sports.
Oakland, definitely check out the show. And yet again, thank you so much. I know everybody comes from all over LA. Transportation's crazy, and you know it's a new thing. But definitely thank you for being adventurous and meeting each other and coming out here and expressing your art. Not being afraid to just be yourself and be out here. Yet again, thank you. And keep doing what you're doing. And all the other artists out there, thank you for tuning in at the Eskwilax Hour Fridays from 4 to 6. If you guys know any other artists, please send them this way. You know, why not give them a little shout out? Follow our pages if you guys want to say your pages. On your Instagrams if you guys are into your Instagrams and stuff.
Social media, if you're not, then that way people could stay tuned, talk to you, ask Q&A questions if they tune into our segment, if they have other things they want to ask, or how you gone through their process. If you guys want to leave that information, please go ahead.
And Instagram me at Sanoism, Sanoizm.
Cool. You do portraits and stuff too, right?
Yeah, I do portraits. I do commission art for people all the time.
Nice.
Right, so if you need a portrait done, or if you need a good drawing such as the one we got here, jackets too, shoes, hats, right. And then Jesua.
You can find me at Jesua Bones on Instagram or Facebook. I'm really easy to get a hold of from there. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of today's technology. It really isn't like you're limitless as far as like technology goes, and then like meeting people and stuff.
I would say you're limitless to the fact that if you could obtain the technology. Other than that, you are limited. Because you can't.
So we talked about how
There's a way,
There's
There's
a
a
way.
way.
There's
There's
a
a
way.
will.
Right.
There's a way, and
Right.
you network.
Networking. And then what else? Well, you stay tuned to us.
yeah.
Right. We'll look for the artists, and you guys just sit there and then
Go
just.
to jonebox.com. By Monday we have like the edited version. If you guys didn't get to watch us live today,
You didn't see our bits and pieces, our bloopers.
it's gonna be fun. It's all DIY. It's edited and produced by everyone here in the house. Yet again, thank you, Efran, Nolan, Marco, Hoken,
Hey.
Sanoism, Jesua, Angel, and Fifi. And Nolan, and stay tuned to all the shows on Dronebox that we get to, experience. Definitely support your local TV, DIY artists, and grassroots, anything, even.
Hey. Definitely.
And we will see you here next Friday from 4 to 6. Y'all have a good one, and thank you yet again for tuning in. Check out our commercials, and if you need any plants, let me know on Yeska Interior Love. I'll hook you up with some beautiful work. Okay, y'all, have a good one. Over and out. Thank you, Marco. You're the best.
Boop,